It was one of those days when you look out the window and realize this is going to be something special. With crystal clear sky and no wind, I knew where I had to be, about a 30-minute drive east of Bridport, a place called Boobyalla. From here, you can get some impressive vistas out across Banks Strait to the Furneaux Islands and around the skyline of the northeast, with its impressive clusters of mountains, especially from a quadcopter. So here we are, up in the air, heading to the mouth of the Ringarooma River. Back in the old days, this was a busy port for the northeast tin mining community. Thousands of tons of tin shipped out, and miners with families and supplies shipped in. It was always a difficult passage on account of the shallow, ever-changing river channel, and steamers like the Minx were often aground for months. But I wasn't here for the history. I had done that before. I just wanted to enjoy the environment on a perfect day. So, sit back and enjoy the views. It was a rare day to see Banks Strait, with its notorious tidal rips looking so benign. On the horizon, way out to the east, near Cape Portland, you can just make out the 56 Muscle Row wind farm turbines. On the horizon, over Banks Strait, the jagged peaks of Mount Kerford. Hard to believe this area, now covered by sand, was in 1836 one of the earliest farms in the district. The once huge Bowler's Lagoon, now a small pond. This sand has migrated inland, blown by the incessant westerly winds. This area is a mixture of recently developed dairy farms and marshes, some named after early landowners like the Fosters. In the distance, we can just see the once gold mining town of Gladstone. The Mount Cameron Range is home to the Scottsdale High School's Field Study Centre and its outdoor education program. It's an interesting granite environment with excellent bushwalking opportunities. On the skyline, an impressive array of mountain peaks, including Mount Albert, Mount Victoria, Ben Lomond, Ben Nevis, and the mysteriously named Mount Horror. From the air, there is a kaleidoscope of colors and patterns created by plants, currents, and wind. This is definitely a dynamic landscape. We briefly return to the past as we visit the remains of the coastal port of Boobyalla with its wharves and hotels. Unfortunately, little remains of this once bustling port. We wonder why Boobyalla didn't survive as a thriving coastal town like its sister, Bridport. Both shared the same origins. I was amazed at the deep burgundy-coloured mass of plants on the low-lying salt flats. Research revealed it as samphire, a salt-tolerant plant that is edible, preferably after cooking. It survives by storing salt in its outer branches, which it then sheds. This is another area targeted for a large wind farm, a scheme that does not impress the residents of Tomahawk. We will now return to the ever-changing mouth of the Ringarooma River. The sandbar across the river mouth reflects the constant dynamic battle between the natural forces of wind, waves, and river flows. The bar has changed from extending nearly right across the channel in an easterly direction to a more direct entrance, more to the west. The bar is taking a middle course. The area's early explorers described the extensive inland plains as resembling an English parkland. Travellers to Boobyalla, entering the river by small coastal steamer, related harrowing moments as the underpowered vessels fought the huge swells and currents, often having to wait agonizing minutes, waiting for a lull in the weather. In some instances, oil was poured on the water to calm the seas. It was at this spot that surveyor James Scott marked the start of his surveyor of Ringarooma Township by erecting a stake and recording bearings of the prominent landmarks in the district, including the peaks of Mount Cameron and Tomahawk Island. I didn't expect to see vehicle tracks in this area. I assume it came along the beach from Tomahawk. It was from here that Surveyor Dawson made his sketch of the river and Mount Cameron in 1836. Rivers such as the Boobyalla presented a challenge for early travellers moving along the coast. In some cases, rivers had to be crossed at the river mouth at low tide. Property owners left boats up the river to help, and early surveyors marked out shallow areas as fords. As we return to our takeoff point, we pass the location of Captain Morgan's homestead site. In the 1880s, Morgan had retired as lighthouse keeper on Swan Island and become one of the few permanent residents at Boobyalla. His family lived with him, and after death, all were buried in the nearby Boobyalla Cemetery. In the past, the old coast road ran through this area with a constant stream of travellers, surveyors, miners, shepherds and settlers. Today the bridges have gone and the road no longer a public access. I hope you've enjoyed our brief journey past and present through a largely forgotten part of the Northeast on a beautiful autumn day.